Welcome to my channel. I am glad to share with you the news today about the royal family. How did the royal family go through a period of food shortages? Princess Diana's chef Darren McGrady has shed a light on how the royal family has adapted during times of food shortages in the past. Darren, who worked as a chef to both the Queen, Diana, Princes William, and Harry collectively for 15 years, explained how royals such as King George V and the Queen coped during war eras, describing the family's approach as fascinating. Speaking to Hello, he recalled how King George V created Elevenses in response to food rations during World War I. Darren explained, King George V was the one who started Elevenses when you sort of stop about 11 o'clock and have a cup of tea and a snack. He started it because it was during the war, food was being rationed, and people weren't getting food. So he thought if the royal kitchens made soup and fed the staff a big bowl of hearty soup, then when it came to lunchtime, they wouldn't be that hungry. Moving into World War II during the 1940s, when the Queen's father King George VI was on the throne, ration coupons were introduced until 1954, which Darren notes were just 2 years after the Queen herself came into power. During this time, Britain imported around 70% of its food and the UK's imports were heavily affected by the bombing. However, Darren continues, this didn't affect the royal family much, as the grounds of many of their homes were self-sufficient. He continued, at Windsor Castle, they had their own farm and everyone was breeding pigs, there was plenty of pork around. So they were pretty self-sufficient. Balmoral had its own gardens, as it still does today. There was all the venison and deer off the estate, and coming from Hampton Court and Sandringham. At the palace, soups and things like that were made, and the meat was no longer allowed to be served at lunchtime, it was just for dinner. This meant that the royals' diet included lots of vegetables, vegetable stews and things like that. Darren elaborated that the increased use of vegetables resulted in some interesting dishes that the family still favors today. He continued, I remember reading about one of the palace chefs back in that time. He used to make a cottage pie which was actually vegetables in a vegetable sauce and mashed potatoes on the top, so it was sort of vegetarian food they were living on at lunchtime. The royal chef even added that after her marriage in 1947, when the Queen was still rationing, she would have strawberries grown especially at Windsor Castle. Darren revealed, when the Queen got married in 1947, she was used to this rationing, and in fact, her special treat was to have strawberries grown at Windsor Castle under covers in the greenhouse. That was her special treat to go on the menu for pudding during the war years. What do you think about the news we have shared? Leave your comments below to let us know what you think. Share with your friends about this news. If you are interested, please subscribe to my channel. We will come back and bring the latest news. Goodbye.